Hi, I'm Dom from Redrow and welcome to the latest episode of the New Homes podcast. Today we're at our Lucas Gardens development in Sheffield in this amazing open plan kitchen dining space of the Henley show home. In previous episodes we've looked at things like how we build a community from scratch, making the most of your outdoor space, and how a show home like this is styled. But today we're going to be looking about how an amazing home like this is actually built. Joining me today to talk about all that is Zara Barrow, Redrow Group Construction Manager. Hi Zara.
Hi.
And Peter Scheu, Redrow Site Manager. Hi, Peter.
Hello.
So Zara, starting with you, can you tell me a little bit about how you got into the industry and your role at Redrow?
Yeah, of course. Started as an assistant site manager, worked up through site manager and project manager, and then came across into this group construction manager role about 2.5 years ago now. So generally look at all 13 divisions, kind of helping to support the construction teams with different policies and procedures and guidance, and looking at kind of quality and best practice across all of our divisions. So yeah, it's good fun.
Great. And Peter, what does your role as a site manager entail?
Ultimately, we're looking at quality. We're looking to make sure that the product is built right and that we get the finish that we need.
Yeah, and I bet there's a lot of people and things to manage in that as well.
Various different subcontractors and suppliers and supply chains. We've been through the pandemic. That role of a site manager is forever developing and evolving.
I bet. So Zara, coming to site today and seeing the street scene, inspired by the arts and crafts era, there's a lot of aesthetic external detail to it, which looks amazing. Does that make it a lot harder to build?
Short answer, yes. It does. So our heritage product is our bread and butter, and it looks fantastic, as you say. And we've got a lot of external features that stand out from our competitors. The render, the tile hanging, finials, different steel bricks, bullseye windows, lots of things that really make the product is what it is. We don't just have a square box, we have skeelings, we have tricky kind of newel post details, stair details, lots of things that make our home stand out from everyone else.
So I'm going to test your knowledge here now, Peter. So for a very top level, can you explain what the process is of building a house like this Henley that we're sat in?
Okay, yes. So from start to finish, we're in the ground, we're in the foundations, the substructure of your home. We're going to be putting in concrete footings, and we're going to be building the substructures from there. We're going to be putting in drainage, we're going to be putting in water main, we're going to be beam and blocking your home and bringing it up to the oversight, which is where what you might recognise as your damp-proof membrane. At that stage, we're going into the superstructures, which is going to be your bricklayer, your scaffolder and your carpenters. Superstructures are going to come up, we're going to raise the house, we're going to be putting your joists on, your chipboard flooring, we're going to be taking it up to roof, putting the roof carcass on, which are your roof trusses, and then we're going to be looking to get the home watertight as soon as possible.
Okay. And in all that, what level of inspection is there, Zara?
Internally, we have our own inspection process. So we have an application called Red Site Manager Inspections, Red SMI, which all of our sites use to check the quality at various stages of the build. But not only that, we have external checks as well. So the NHBC we use for building control and our warranty on the majority of our product. Occasionally we use the local authority for building control as well. Whoever we use, they will do their own external checks. We have an independent person coming in, checking that we're doing everything to building regulations, to their standards that they set out, so they can verify that what we've done and what we've checked is up to scratch. So yeah, it's a whole range of people, different stages, different levels of checking, so we're constantly checking and inspecting.
And that warranty you mentioned, that's quite unique to new homes, isn't it? So you can just explain a little bit about what that means to someone who buys a new build Redrow home. Yeah,
of course. I think ultimately it's a peace of mind. So whilst we provide our own 2-year warranty for our customers, that then extends for a further 8 years with the NHBC to provide that extra bit of comfort that if anything was to happen to the home, they could, depending what it is, potentially go to the NHBC for advice, a claim, resolution, etc. So it just kind of helps the customer feel comforted that they have that support for the first 10 years that they own their new home.
Brilliant. So we've got our superstructure now, and we've got joists and a roof, and we're getting watertight. What happens next?
We're going to put the stairs in, we're going to put your windows in, we're going to look to get your services, which is your water, your gas, your electric. We're going to get the home ready for the first fix stage, which is coming in and standing up your stud work, your timber walls. We're going to be putting in plumbers, electricians. We're going towards the pre-plaster inspection, which is a stage of saying, before we close this home up, we can come in and check with the Red SMI inspection. We can bring in the NHBC to do their pre-plaster inspection, but we've also got the opportunity for the hard hat visit where we can bring in the customer and they get to see a stage of the home that they wouldn't normally see, which is fantastic.
And how do you find customers usually react to that hard hat tour?
Well, if we start with their arrival on site and getting out of their norm, they're going to put a hard hat on, a high-vis jacket, some boots. Instagram's great for taking pictures with your new home. It's a very exciting time. There's no agenda from the site team for that. So it's fantastic to meet a customer where it's nice and relaxed. You can come and see your home and we can get involved with that stage. And they'll have lots of questions. They'll ask us what we're putting into their home and we can explain to them the traditionally built construction that we're going through and the methods and then what stages are going to come from that point. Part of the excitement, it's that journey for our customer.
Yeah.
I think for a lot of customers, it's that point where it becomes quite real. Before they may have seen a plan or a CGI, but then it's their actual home. So not only are they seeing the insides and seeing how the electrics and plumbing's all put together, but they see the location, where the nearest play area is, where the street columns are, where their drainage is, things that you would see on a plan but might find hard to visualise, so they can see it all in real life as it's being built. And it is, as Peter said, a really exciting time for the customers. From a site management point of view, it's great to kind of meet them at that early stage, get them invested in the journey. So it's a really, really good time for them to come and visit.
And as a site manager, I imagine, in your career of construction, it's quite a new thing to be taking customers around a first fix home. How do you find it?
It's exciting, it's fun, it's getting out of the norm. So yeah, it's an enjoyable stage and you're building that relationship from the customer from day one. So at the stage when they move in, it's not a new relationship. You're already getting down the line of what can we do for you? You can ask me straight. We'll stand in the street, you've just moved in, what do you need from us? What can we do for you? It's those sort of things. So it's a fantastic opportunity and the customers really love it. And
you can see the customers already start thinking about furniture, fittings, where they're going to put things, and they're kind of, can I measure that and see if that unit will go in there that they've got in mind? So it's a good process for our customers as well to really be on board with the home. And like Peter said, it's not a kind of moving day and they're like, oh, who are you? And oh, this is my house. Oh, what am I going to, I need to buy this. They can already start getting more excited and continue that process and that journey.
And how, it sounds like such a special experience for new home buyers. How did that get handled throughout COVID and the pandemic and social distancing?
So initially, hard hat tours were temporarily kind of stopped until we were able to ensure that they were done safely. A lot of our hard hat tours virtually, so either via WhatsApp or a FaceTime video, if our customers were happy to do that, so they could still see everything that was going on, still get that sense of excitement. And then more recently, we've been able to switch to our customer communication videos where we can pre-record a hard hat tour and send it to the customers. And they are really appreciating that because sometimes even coming out of COVID, that's going to continue because they might not be able to get to site, working, commitments, etc. And they can view their new home in the comfort of their current home or wherever they might be. They can show their friends the videos and they're being watched kind of, 20, 30, 40 times in some instances. So it's a real positive step forward.
They've done the hard hat tour, first fix is done. What's next?
Well, we've done the pre-plaster inspection. And then we're going to close the home up. So we're going to come in with plasterboard, dry lining. We're going to, there's two different stages. We could go for a tape and joint or we could go for a skim, just various different building methods that we can use to close the home up. Then we're going to mist coat the house. We're going to put a light wash down paint over everything so that we can see the minor imperfections in the plasterboard. We're going to start our second fix stage. We're going to bring in the carpenter, the plumber, the electrician, the same trades that have been in at first fix, we're bringing them in at second fix, but we're going to add in there a kitchen fitter, a tiler. We're going to be getting the house ready for its pre-paint inspection. And that's really at the stage where we're saying the home is now ready for us to get those finishing touches. And we want to check that. Site management team want to make sure that it's absolutely nailed on, so ready for the paint to go in there.
And I think it's interesting, Peter mentioned the pre-paint inspection there. That's one of our Red SMI inspections. It's mandatory for all of our site teams to do, but it's not something that we have to do from a legal requirement or from an NHBC key stage inspection. That's something that we've decided to do as an extra to make sure that our homes are ready for the painter. They're clean, they've been made good, all filled, prepped. There's no one else in there kind of disturbing the painter. He's got the best canvas that he can work on to make that home really sharp and clean. And that's not something we have to do. That's something that we've chosen to do and implemented to get that stage extra special for our customers, which is really good.
I bet. A big thing for a lot of people moving into their Redrow home is their choices and extras. They might have upgraded their kitchen, their tiling. I'm guessing that's when a lot of that stuff is fitted in the home,
For the customer, absolutely. That's going to be the stage when they really visualise what's happening. But a lot of the things are done at the first fix stage. So if they get their options in nice and early, they've got everything that we can go for. You're thinking more colour choices, tiling, wardrobes, those features. Yes, you'll see that at that stage.
And you were telling me earlier that actually when you do the hard hat tours, a lot of customers feel when the home's open, it feels small, and actually when all the stuff goes in, it weirdly feels bigger to them.
It's very deceptive. And again, part of the excitement, they walk in and they're looking in and going, this doesn't feel like the show home. I've not seen it like this before. And then you invite them back in for the home demo later on, and they see the home for the first time for really at that stage when they're going to be moving in. And again, that excitement level just through the roof. Yeah.
And Zara, I guess in your role, sort of covering, the national patch, how do we ensure a consistent build? We're in a Henley here today in Sheffield. How do we make sure that a Henley built in, Knutsford in the northwest is to the same standard?
Yeah, it's a really good point and something that we are focusing on. Obviously, we have a whole series of drawings to ensure that the actual build procedure and designs are the same. We do change our designs, we do upgrade them depending on customer feedback or design issues, and also just in terms of kind of material developments. So you may find that a Henley here is slightly different to a Henley somewhere else just because our product has evolved, but fundamentally it's going to be the same. But in terms of quality, our Red Site Manager Inspection app is key to that because everyone's going to be following the same checklist, the same prompts, the same looking at the same things. We also have a range of best practice guides that we've produced internally. We've got external NHBC ones as well, when we can kind of use across the country to make sure that everyone's working to the same standards. We obviously have the NHBC building reg standards, their technical standards, any kind of legal standards that we have to kind of maintain. But as we like to go above and beyond what we have to do, getting that consistency and looking at site visits, looking at different areas across the country and comparing them and making sure that everyone's doing very similar is really key. And
from a sustainability point of view, what are we doing or going to do to make sure that the building of our new homes is as sustainable as possible?
Yeah, it's a really good and relevant question at the moment. We've been on our sustainability journey for a while now, and it's just getting kind of more and more involved. We also obviously have the building regulation changes this year, which are going to affect how we kind of design our homes in terms of the amount of insulation that goes in, removing of the gas boilers and different things to meet those regulations. We are looking at different ways of renewable energy in terms of sustainability as well. We've got various trials across the country, and not only from a customer point of view when they move in, but how we build the homes as well and how our construction sites are set up to be more sustainable. We have a buildability and waste workshop where we look at how we can reduce waste throughout the build process, which is obviously really important, and where that waste that we do produce goes as well. So it's a kind of a whole process from start to finish of the home, to make sure that we're doing all that we can for the environment and for our customers when they move in also.
And, from your point of view, Peter, out on site building these houses every day, it must be quite exciting, some of the evolutions in the technology around building homes and ultimately what that can do for the climate and environment.
Yeah, it does. I mean, exciting and challenging, I think is the word. You'll get so far through the build stage and then it'll be like, well, actually, we've got a new detail or something that we're working to. And yes, you are going to be changing it on these homes from this stage. So it's a challenge and we just got to raise the bar and achieve those challenges, as it were. But it's fantastic that we're open-minded to the changes that are happening out in the industry and we're looking for modern methods of construction and we're looking towards the future. It's great to work for Redrow when they put themselves out there like that. It's fantastic.
And completion day and final inspections, talk to me about that.
Well, that's really when my job's done. If I've done everything right, we've followed the inspection processes, we've gone through it with a fine-tooth comb, the house is ready, the customer moves in, and you're likely not to hear from me personally. I'm not going to knock on your door, I'm going to leave you alone because it's a very busy day. I'll come and see you the following day. I'll come and see you when you've had time to settle down, and I'll find out how things are. We want to go and see them at a stage when they've gone, right, these are the things that I'm unhappy with, or these are the things that aren't quite the way they should be. And we'll take that list and we'll come on and do it. But the shrinkage in the home and the home demos features are things that customers aren't going to necessarily have done before. So shrinkage on your home and doors jamming and not closing properly, some customers might feel like that's a negative. that's just part of your living, breathing product, and allowing that drying out process to happen properly will only make the shrinkage time obviously better.
I think there's so many different elements that go into building a home, and so much water as well, naturally and just through the weather process, that the home takes 12, 18, 24 months to dry out properly, and the slower and more naturally that can happen, the better. So we will say things like, open your windows as much as possible. Don't put your heating on 26 degrees. Keep it at a nice 19, 20 degrees.
Where would a customer go beyond that home preview to get information on settling into their new home?
So we have a digital platform, Homeowner Support, where they can go to access videos and how-to guides to, adjust a door handle or to top up their boiler, what shrinkage may look like and how and when they should address that. Also some other guidance, and from there they can also report to us anything they're not happy with, any defects or anything that's happened that they need to report so that we can rectify.
And on the occasion a customer might think something is wrong, is that the same place where they'd go to raise those queries? How does that work?
Yeah, so we spoke earlier about the NHBC, so we offer the 2-year warranty and the NHBC take over from there. Peter's mentioned the 3-week courtesy check, which will be carried out by the customer service manager and the site management team. Anything from that point will be carried out by the site team, and then we hand over to the customer services team for the remainder of the 2 years. And yes, customers can raise any issues or defects or queries via that portal as well.
With it being National Apprenticeship Week next week from the 7th to the 11th of February, is it a career you'd recommend to school leavers?
Construction is a fantastic industry to come into. For the right candidates, we've got trade apprenticeships, we've got office-based apprenticeships, we've got opportunities for trade apprentices to come on and do site management trainee site management work. It's a fantastic career, and I absolutely recommend it.
One of our focuses is women in construction. I've been through the site management route. We are still in a minority. We are an inclusive environment. So if anybody wants to kind of thinking about construction, it's fantastic. I would say, yeah, don't be afraid of kind of what you hear. Just go for it.
Well, all that's left for me to do is say thank you very much to Zara and Peter for their time today. Our next episode is all about quality and the introduction of the New Homes Ombudsman and what that means for new homeowners. If you've got any questions for our guests, then head to social or email newhomespodcast@redrow.co.uk. If you're after more information about apprenticeships, then check out our social channels all next week. See you next time.